Good morning, America. Marines on the move. President Trump ordering 2,000 more troops to the Middle East, fueling speculation of a possible ground operation, even as he says he's considering winding down the war with Iran. An Iranian missile landing in Jerusalem's Old City,
just yards away from some of the holiest sites in the world.
Plus the administration's new move to try to drive down gas prices.
Catastrophic flooding. Thousands of people forced to evacuate their homes on Oahu's North Shore from relentless rain. Neighborhoods submerged, more than 200 people rescued from the rising waters, and concerns over whether a 120-year-old dam will hold.
Tough travel with the partial government shutdown dragging on. Estimated wait times at some airports topping 3 hours. TSA workers missing another paycheck, call-out rates rising, along with financial strain.
Knowing that you're doing your best and not even getting paid to still have a smile on your face, like, that can only go on for so long.
Expert advice on what to do if you're traveling and your flight is canceled or delayed.
Justin Timberlake's arrest. The newly released police body camera video showing what happened when the pop star was pulled over back in 2024.
So the reason for the stop is because you're veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Undergoing sobriety tests, winding up in handcuffs. Why the video is being released now?
Remembering Chuck Norris, the action star and martial arts grandmaster's impact on the big and small screens.
You want to do it the easy way or the hard way?
Looking back at the hit roles that made him a star.
I saw the fire in your eyes.
And March Madness, living up to its name, the long shot sending this game into overtime. And on the women's side, the team barely advancing at the buzzer.
Off the mark.
Round one highlights ahead. Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Saturday. Good morning, America. All right, the crew's together here on this Saturday.
We got the weekend playing on the weekend.
Bring in the weekend.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good, I like that. Good morning, America. Good to see you. As you saw, March Madness officially in full swing, and coming up here, highlights from both the men's and the women's tournaments as brackets begin to bust all across the country.
Yes, and we have a lot of news to get to this morning, including newly released police video showing singer Justin Timberlake struggling through field sobriety tests during a 2024 Hamptons traffic stop that led to his arrest. And frustration is mounting for travelers nationwide as the partial government shutdown drags on. TSA workers going without pay, and airports, look at the lines, feeling the strain. We are live this morning at Dallas-Fort Worth with the very latest.
Yes, but we do begin here overseas. The war with Iran entering a critical new phase, and this morning more American ships and U.S. Marines are heading to the Middle East as the conflict moves into its fourth week. ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burridge is in Jerusalem tracking all the developments. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Yeah, and a major sign of where this war could be heading next. The U.S. sending thousands more Marines, amphibious landing ships, and additional firepower to this region. President Trump saying that critical waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, could be reopened with a, quote, simple military maneuver. But Iran's still able to fire missiles and drones at U.S. allies in the Gulf and at targets here in Israel. This morning, thousands of additional U.S. Marines and sailors heading to the Middle East as President Trump weighs up options to try and break Iran's stranglehold over the critical Strait of Hormuz. U.S. officials confirming a second Marine Expeditionary Unit is now being deployed to the region. 3 amphibious ships which can land troops on shore seen departing San Diego this week. In total, 9,000 additional sailors and Marines and considerable firepower are set to arrive in the coming days, fueling speculation of a possible ground operation into Iran. The White House saying there is currently no plan for ground troops, but President Trump not ruling it out. The Pentagon now saying 232 U.S. troops have been injured in the war, with 10 of them in a serious condition. 13 U.S. service members have been killed. And overnight, the head of the International Energy Agency with this dire warning to the Financial Times, calling the conflict the greatest global energy security threat in history. Smoke billowing into the air at an oil refinery in Kuwait. Officials there reporting 2 days of consecutive Iranian drone attacks on that facility. The price of Brent crude spiking to $112 a barrel, with huge quantities of other vital exports like fertilizers and pharmaceuticals also stuck. This morning, dramatic new video showing Iranian missile fragments exploding in Jerusalem's Old City.
several people injured by the blast.
Well, you can see the force of the blast from those missile fragments. We heard the thud from our hotel. We're in the Jewish quarter in the Old City, just yards away from some of the holiest sites in the world.
And as the US and Israel continue to strike in Iran now warning of retaliatory attacks against US and Israeli officials at recreational and tourist sites worldwide.
And guys, Iran this morning accusing the US and Israel of fresh strikes on one of the country's nuclear enrichment sites at Natanz. No comment so far on that from the CENTCOM or the IDF. And the British government reacting to reports that Iranian ballistic missiles unsuccessfully targeted a British and American base at Diego Garcia, thousands of miles away in the Indian Ocean. The UK accusing Iran of lashing out with reckless attacks. Whit.
All right, Tom Sufi Burridge, we appreciate it. And this morning, President Trump is heralding what he says is the success of the Iran war so far while criticizing American allies. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joins us now from Washington. Selena, good morning.
And good morning to you, Whit. President Trump is now saying he's considering winding down military operations in Iran, claiming the U.S. is getting close to meeting its objectives. But look, this is a message we have heard before. Trump has repeatedly said the war is nearly over, only for U.S. attacks to ramp up again. In fact, just hours earlier, President Trump said he does not want a ceasefire because the U.S. is, quote, obliterating Iran. And one of the key goals the president has listed is getting other nations to guard the Strait of Hormuz, that critical waterway. But so far, our allies are holding back, with some making it clear this isn't their fight. The president is now lashing out at our NATO allies, calling them cowards for not stepping in, even as he repeatedly argues the U.S. doesn't need their help. And meanwhile, his administration is scrambling to bring down those rising gas prices, announcing overnight they're pausing some sanctions on Iranian oil already at sea. That is a remarkable move, guys. It is a major reversal on U.S. policy, which has sanctioned Iranian oil for decades. And Janae, it's happening in the middle of a war against Iran.
Yes, and that's got lots of people talking, Selena. And to that point, Americans, they are feeling the pinch from those gas prices continuing to rise. So ABC's Olivia Rubin says that it is affecting more than just filling up that tank. So many people feeling it. Olivia, good morning.
Janae, good morning. We were just checking the national average nearly at $4 a gallon this morning at $3.94. That is a sharp jump of $1 since the war began. And now Gas Buddy says that is the fastest 3-week spike ever. But some states around the country are hit even harder, including California, Washington, Nevada, Arizona. They're already well beyond $4 and even $5. And altogether, Americans are paying a stunning $575 million more per day on gas and diesel compared to the start of the war. Now, a new poll shows Americans are feeling that pain. 55% now say their finances have taken at least somewhat of a hit from the gas increases, leaving many Americans wondering when this war might end. But now new research suggests that these surges could remain beyond that, in part due to long-term damage from strikes on key energy infrastructure across the Middle East. Repairs there could take months or even years. In the meantime, remember, guys, the economy is hurting well beyond the pump. Airlines are tacking on fuel surcharges. Stocks have slid for 4 straight weeks, and now farmers are facing a spike in diesel and fertilizer prices. Economists say those costs could soon be passed down to shoppers. Gio.
Incredible to see all of those rising costs. Olivia, thank you so much for that. Now to the flood emergency that's forcing thousands of people to flee their homes in Hawaii. Honolulu's mayor says there's been hundreds of rescues, and ABC's Jacqueline Lee is following the latest on this. Jacqueline, good morning.
Gio, good morning. Hawaii is dealing with catastrophic flooding that has washed away roads and homes as it deals with a second round of rain. The governor describing flooding up to chest level. This event so serious he activated the National Guard on Friday. Emergency crews are conducting active search and rescue operations and already rescued more than 230 people. Officials are closely monitoring water levels at the Wahioa Dam on Oahu. Additional rainfall could quickly push levels higher again. Now, the heavy rain is expected to continue through Sunday, including flash flooding and severe thunderstorms. No injuries or deaths have been reported, but guys, damage is expected to surpass $1 billion. Whit.
Yeah, major concern. Jacqueline Lee, we appreciate it. Now to the nationwide travel chaos as the partial government shutdown enters day 36. TSA workers going another week without pay, and airline passengers facing massive lines. ABC's Christian Cordero has more from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And Christian, it appears to be getting worse in some places.
Yeah, and with a warning that it will get worse, Whit, the longer this drags on. Good morning to you. So the wait times right now very much depend on where you're flying out of and at what time. TSA officers are also waiting for this lapse in funding to end. This morning, it is day 36 of a partial government shutdown as TSA workers scramble to meet the travel demand despite their last paycheck arriving nearly 1 month ago.
I hope we pay these people. They deserve to be paid. It's ridiculous what we're going through.
Major airports nationwide are seeing a surge in spring break travel and massive lines like this one in Houston, where the estimated wait time topped 3 hours on Friday.
We were kind of shocked because we literally had to go down, all the way down some escalators and come right back up.
A similar situation in Atlanta and at New York's LaGuardia Airport, where the security line snaked outside into the parking lot. The call-out rates among TSA workers more than doubling since the beginning of the shutdown, with the financial strain growing.
It was a choice between putting gas in my car and paying my light bill. But for some people, there are choices between feeding their children and putting gas in the car.
A vote to end the shutdown failed for a 5th time in the Senate Friday.
The motion is not agreed to.
Democrats are still demanding reforms to immigration enforcement, including requiring agents to take off masks and wear body cameras. Travelers we spoke with here in Dallas are trying to be patient.
Knowing that you're doing your best and not even getting paid to still have a smile on your face, that can only go on for so long.
And as we get through the morning rush here at DFW Airport, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns TSA lines will get significantly worse if officers miss another paycheck next week, calling everything we're seeing right now, quote, child's play compared to what's ahead. Janae.
Oh, my gosh, that is very painful for so many of those workers. Christian, thank you. Now to the spring break chaos, all of that airport chaos happening in the midst of this. And the season not yet at its peak, and authorities already have their hands full with large crowds and bad behavior. Daytona Beach, Florida, declaring a crackdown. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the details.
This morning, after chaotic spring break scenes like this along the Florida coast, Daytona Beach officials issuing a temporary 8 p.m. curfew for anyone under 18. Law enforcement officials establishing a special event zone along the beach and enforcing the curfew within that area through next Thursday night.
You will physically be removed from the venue and processed at another venue.
The Volusia County Sheriff also cracking down on promoters who are allegedly publicizing unpermitted and unsanctioned Daytona Beach takeover events. They say they're draining local police, fire, EMS, and trash resources.
You are being noticed that if an event pops up here this weekend, we're going to have the rest of your money to pay for this thing.
This weekend, Daytona Beach set to deploy more than 100 officers, including state troopers, on foot patrol just to manage the crowd.
It's not like these folks RSVP, so it's somewhat of a guessing game as to how many people are actually showing up.
Miami Beach, known for implementing strict spring break restrictions in the last few years, now taking a different approach. Giving spring break a makeover and promoting health and fitness, a strategy that seems to have worked. Officials saying there were no shootings or fatalities over the past 2 years.
We are making a deliberate pivot away from a party-centric spring break of the past and towards a month that celebrates all that Miami Beach has to offer.
And Miami Beach officials tell us that they're keeping security checkpoints and strict rules in place. Panama City Beach is now enforcing an under-18 curfew and overnight beach closures, and even Six Flags Over Texas requiring chaperones for guests under 18, so certainly cracking down.
Yeah. As a native Miamian, I can tell you, it gets crazy down there.
And he was right in the middle of it.
Well, you.
Oh, come on.
All right.
You know, the
so
Clevelander, spring break.
Clevelander.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, let's switch gears here and let's talk about the tributes pouring in overnight for martial arts screen icon Chuck Norris. Word of his death coming at age 86, and it came on Friday, and ABC's Will Gans is here with more. Will, what a legend.
Indeed. Chuck Norris once told The Times, "I never
wanted to be Dustin Hoffman or Al Pacino. I never dreamed of being an actor. I do what I do. And he did it well. An actor wouldn't have accidentally kicked Dean Martin across the room in his first big movie in 1968, but thankfully that didn't mark the end of Chuck's Hollywood career, or Dean's for that matter. It was just the beginning. On the small screen and the silver, Chuck Norris made an impact. True from the moment he first appeared on the big screen in 1968's The Wrecking Crew opposite Dean Martin, mixing martial arts and motion picture. Born in 1940 in Ryan, Oklahoma, just north of the Texas border, Carlos Ray Norris would enlist in the U.S. Air Force, where he got the nickname Chuck. While stationed in South Korea, he studied judo and tang soo do, and went on to win 6 world karate championships, becoming friends with Bruce Lee, who introduced him to the world of film. The two starring together in 1972's The Way of the Dragon.
Wrong answer.
His pivot to the big screen packing a punch, with huge successes in the 70s and 80s, including Missing in Action, The Delta Force, and Code of Silence.
You want to do it the easy way or the hard way?
In 1993, he took on the starring role in the long-running TV drama Walker, Texas Ranger, playing the Lone Star legend with quiet confidence.
You just can't get it right, can you?
It was that role and that intensity that would inspire a million memes and pop culture moments.
You know, they say Chuck Norris is so tough, there's no chin under his beard. There is only another fist.
That's ridiculous. Chuck Norris.
Throughout his career, he was an ambassador for fitness and well-being, even introducing the Osmonds to karate early in their career. Donnie sharing on social media that Chuck was tough in training, but one of the kindest souls you could ever know. Working with youth was immensely rewarding to Chuck Norris, as he told ABC back in 2007.
When you develop that security in these youngsters, they have no reason to fight. This is, to me, the most gratifying thing I've ever been able to do.
5 years later, at age 72, he starred in The Expendables 2. Director Sly Stallone writing, "I had a great time working with Chuck. He was all-American in every way." Chuck Norris passing away Thursday morning in Hawaii, his family sharing in a statement in part, "To the world, he was a martial artist, actor, and a symbol of strength. To us, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family." Chuck Norris was 86 years old. And according to his bodyguard, Chuck Norris loved those memes that we loved sharing about him, which is how so many are remembering him this morning. Author Stephen King tweeting a few, including this one. When he was born, Chuck Norris drove his mother home from the hospital.
Wow. That's so fitting. What a life.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah.
Thank you, Will, for that.
Now to March Madness, shifting into high gear this weekend. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has all the overnight highlights. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, hoops. They did it again. Some remarkable games and plenty of can't-miss moments. Easy to see what all this hoopla is about with March Madness.
It is the stuff of dreams.
It's the kind of chaos that defines March.
Everything is ready.
College basketball, blue blood, Kentucky surviving a thriller with the season on the line. Wildcats guard Otega Owe heaving up a last-second prayer to send the game to overtime. Kentucky putting away the game for good in extra time.
Everything, the exclamation point.
And some other top seeds facing close calls.
Underway.
Wright State, wrong time.
White for 3.
The 14-seed Raiders taking 3-seed Virginia down to the wire before the Cavaliers pulled away.
The Raiders gave the Cavaliers everything they could handle.
It's Virginia's first win in the tournament since they won the national championship in 2019. In the middle of the pack, Utah State besting Villanova. Coach Kevin Willard ripping his staff during a TV timeout interview.
16 paint points for Utah State. How do you keep them out?
I'm going to fire my staff because we...
Not now.
Yeah, I am.
And on the women's side, it was the heavy favorites taking care of business.
To the floor, the and one.
LSU scored 116 in their dominant win over 15-seed Jacksonville. And number 1 seed Texas taking down number 16 seed Missouri State, winning by 42.
And this one is over. Texas rolls.
But for the storied Tennessee program and the Lady Volunteers,
Now they are staring at a major deficit.
they get bounced in the round of 64, losing to NC State and ending one of the worst seasons in program history.
Not the game we wanted, really not the season we wanted.
And the night ended with suspense. Villanova and Texas Tech saw 10 different lead changes and several ties.
And still time, one possession game.
Before the Lady Raiders pulled away, getting their first tournament win since 2005. And in another close one, Michigan State and Colorado State came down to the final shot.
We've got tons more March Madness action tipping off this afternoon. A lot of office pools, by the way, because I know that's what everybody wants to know.
Of course,
right?
yes.
They're still intact because all the 1 seeds, they still won, and so did the heavy favorites. Except for me, though. At ABC, I'm in dead last.
Dead last.
There's
All right.
3 pages of people.
Good thing we're taking our advice from you. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. Still ahead here, new video making headlines. Justin Timberlake's DWI arrest now seen on police body cam. His reaction during sobriety tests.
Plus, travel tips for the spring break season and beyond as airports slow to a crawl due to the government shutdown.
And the next time LeBron James steps on a basketball court, he'll break an NBA record. Details on this milestone coming up.
Swim, swim, wanna fall in all of your skin. Swim.
We are back now on GMA with the long-awaited return of K-pop supergroup BTS, teaming up with Lily Reinhart for the music video for their new single, Swim. It's the first song off Arirang, the band's first studio album in 6 years after its members took a break to fulfill mandatory military service.
People have been waiting. This whole this was like, when are they
BTS
coming back?
Army.
It's a big deal coming back.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a good song too. All right, now let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following on this Saturday morning. Kendra Duggar has now been charged alongside her husband, reality TV star Joseph Duggar. She was arrested Friday, days after Joseph was taken into custody in Arkansas. Both face multiple counts of child endangerment and false imprisonment. Joseph Duggar is accused of abusing a 9-year-old girl in 2020. The couple rose to fame on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting.
Measles cases continue to rise across the U.S. The CDC says that the total for this year is now close to 1,500. That's approaching the total for all of last year. The CDC has recorded cases across 31 states this year, mostly among people under 20 years of age.
And LeBron James is on the brink of clinching a new NBA record. Tonight's game against Orlando will be the 1,612th game of his career. That will give LeBron the title for the most NBA games played. Right now, he's tied with Hall of Famer Robert Parrish.
Just add that to the list of all the records broken. Yeah, unbelievable. All right, we begin this half hour with newly released body cam video from the night pop star Justin Timberlake was arrested on DWI charges in the Hamptons back in 2024. The footage is offering new insight into that traffic stop and the moments that followed. ABC's Ike Ajachi is following all of it. Ike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. That's right. This new video shows the moment pop superstar Justin Timberlake was pulled over and ultimately arrested for DWI in the Hamptons. Now, the newly released police body camera footage capturing what led up to that traffic stop and the tense exchange with officers.
So the reason for the stop is because you keep veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah, sorry about that.
This morning, newly released police body camera footage showing the moment pop star Justin Timberlake was pulled over and then arrested for a DWI in the Hamptons in June 2024.
What are you visiting?
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
I'm on the world tour.
The incident happening amid his Forget Tomorrow World Tour, the singer revealing his identity to the officer.
I'm Justin Timberlake.
What's your name?
Justin Timberlake.
You are Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
You give me heel to toe like this. Heel to toe.
Timberlake asked to undergo a series of field sobriety tests.
Guys, I'm just following my friends back to my house. I'm not doing anything. I'm just following my friends back to my house.
Will you do these tests?
Sure.
The then 43-year-old visibly struggling.
4,000, 5,000.
All right, that's all good.
All right.
All right.
By the way, these are like really hard tests.
Eventually, the officer asking him to use a breathalyzer.
So the way this device works, you just put your lips over it and you blow into it like you're blowing a balloon. No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Then, placing him under arrest.
Come on, man. Like, I'm just following my friends home.
All right, just turn around for me, please. 9 7 headquarters.
Now, Timberlake later took a plea deal for the incident. His legal team had fought to keep this footage private, but an agreement was reached to release a redacted version. Now, we reached out to Timberlake's team, but we have yet to hear back, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Ike. From winter storms to global uncertainty and now those long TSA lines, well, there's been a lot threatening to shake up our travel plans. So what should you really know before you head out to the airport? Travel expert Katie Nastro from Going.com is here to walk us through it.
Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
Katie. Always happy to be here, even amidst this very stressful period for
It
travelers.
is so stressful, so stressful. Okay, so people getting to the airport. I just got a video from JFK where the lines were just crazy long. What should people do?
Best advice for travelers right now is getting to the airport is not a recommendation, it's a requirement, at least 2 to 3 hours ahead of your boarding time. And it really depends on the time and day that you are traveling on. So those peak days that we've identified, Monday afternoons, Friday afternoons, early evenings, as well as weekend mornings, Sunday in particular, looking absolutely horrific for most airports. So buffering even more time there. You can use the MyTSA app as a historical reference, but I would say go to the airport website directly. They have live trackers as well as their social media accounts, boots on the ground. And then speaking of social media, get the kids involved. Ask them to see if your airport is trending. If it's trending before you're leaving, it's likely not for a good reason.
Okay, that's a good idea there. We've been hearing for weeks that airfares could rise with the rising fuel costs. Going tracks airfares. Is that already happening?
Look, you know, fuel is one of the biggest costs for airlines. And in the past, we've seen them pass some of that additional cost on to travelers. And unfortunately, over at Going, we've crunched the numbers in the last week, and we have seen average median domestic fares up roughly 15%, but that's not across every flight and not across every airline. And we want travelers to remember it's spring break. Demand is sky high right now, so that's also helping to push prices up. Best tip, if you know you want to travel this summer, get your summer flights booked now before prices creep up any higher.
Got it. I was going to ask that question. It's like, does that mean we need to rush online and do it? So, okay.
Run, don't walk.
Got it. All right. So, speaking of fuel, what about those who want to like load up the station wagon, do the old school road trip for spring break?
You know,
what are you laughing at?
Station wagon.
Road trip.
Yeah. Hybrid. Yes.
Like an old Griswold trip.
I love those movies. Well, you know, it's funny because road trippers thought that they could avoid travel headaches this year, but then they get to the gas pump and they're like, no. So look, making sure your car is as fuel efficient as possible, making sure those tires are inflated, the air filter on your engine is checked and ready to go, oil topped up, everything good to go, as well as if you're a member at a wholesale club, typically we see cheaper gas prices when you're shopping at those destinations.
My husband swears by it, even when the line is so long.
You know, it's worth it right now to save a couple bucks, especially if you're road tripping.
Okay, storms across the country. We're seeing all that weather. That obviously causes delays, cancellations. How do you deal with that?
You know, Gio, it's funny, we're in spring right now, but Mother Nature can throw us a wintry curveball. So we want travelers to always remember you have that right to a refund or a rebooked flight if your flight is outrightly canceled or significantly delayed by 3 hours or more. If you are caught up in congestion during TSA, unfortunately, that doesn't cover you. So we want you to get ahead of it. We want you to go to your app, see if you can do a same-day change, or get on those domestic phone lines, get on the international phone line. And if you are an iPhone user, like many of us are, if your airline doesn't have that callback feature, the new iOS update actually has it built in, so you're not stuck waiting on hold with that horrible music. You can have it just call you back.
That has been useful. Thank you so much, Katie. Always great to have you. Still coming up here on Good Morning America, March Madness already living up to its name with nail-biters across the bracket. ESPN's Seth Greenberg looking ahead to the next battles. We're back now on GMA with a closer look at the men's March Madness bracket as the tournament really starts heating up. ESPN college basketball analyst Seth Greenberg joined us this morning from Bristol, Connecticut. Seth, thank you for being with us. Let's start with the biggest upsets of the tournament so far. Which wins impressed you the most?
I think it's High Point against Wisconsin. You talk about High Point. They're from the Big South, not the Big 10, not the Big 12, but the Big South. And the way they did it, they made 15 three-point shots. Wisconsin was a team a lot of people thought maybe could get to the Final Four. This High Point team, they're aggressive. They play downhill. They get to the free throw line. They're relentless on the glass, and they beat you in transition. This is a really talented team, an older, physical team, but from the Big South Conference. When you think about Wisconsin in the Big 10, absolutely incredible win, huge for the Big South Conference, and to me, the best upset so far in the tournament.
Okay, so everyone's also been talking about that dramatic finish that lifted number 7 Kentucky over number 10 Santa Clara. Beyond that game, which teams advanced but left you perhaps a little uneasy about the next round?
Well, I'll tell you what, this Iowa State team, they won their first game, but they lost Joshua Jefferson potentially, who's kind of the hub of their offense. And they're going to play Kentucky. So what does that mean? That means that bracket for Kentucky potentially opens up. Iowa State's an elite defensive team. They keep you on one side of the floor. They force turnovers. But that injury right there, Joshua Jefferson is one of the unique players in college basketball, maybe the most versatile player in college basketball. He's a 6'7" point forward. They run their offense through him. He creates matchup problems. If he's down for the Kentucky game, I really believe that Kentucky has a great opportunity to win that basketball game.
All right, Seth, looking ahead to today's matchups, which game do you have circled as a must-watch?
TCU and Duke. I mean, you talk about Duke. They had the game the other day against Siena that they had a second half comeback. Duke's playing without 2 starters. And this TCU team, coached by Jamie Dixon, they don't flinch. They have a win against Florida, who a lot of people think is going to win the national championship. Iowa State, Texas Tech. They come out of the Big 12. David Punch is a physical inside player. Xavier Edmonds, another physical inside player. But it's style of play. Jamie Dixon's teams are tough, physical defensively. They rebound the ball. They get out in transition. This TCU team is a tough matchup for Duke, especially a young Duke team playing potentially without 2 starters.
All right, so TCU and Duke. All right, thank you, Seth. Seth Greenberg at ESPN. Thanks so much. All right, we're back now with our play of the day, and we're all flipping for this little boy. Doing a first cartwheel can be an important milestone for a child, right? Watch as 2-year-old Zeke gives it his best shot.
Cartwheel. He's got the first part down.
Yeah, the first part, and then it looks like he's diving or something. Zeke's mom, Elizabeth, says the California toddler loves the Wiggles and probably saw them doing cartwheels in one of their episodes. And this adorable video has over 1 million views on TikTok right now. Elizabeth also telling GMA that Zeke likes trying all kinds of skills, and let's see if he has better luck jogging. Juggling.
Oh. He's got the motions
He's
down.
doing great.
Go, Zeke.
Go, Zeke. Juggling, not jogging. But there he is.
He's ready for the circus.
All right, still coming up here on GMA in our second hour, we are breaking down a new study about the benefits of the MIND diet and the best foods to eat to keep your brain younger longer.
Plus, tips to start investing for the future, even if you are just beginning your career.
And spring is in the air. We have deals and steals this morning that you don't want to miss. Stick around. You're watching GMA on this Saturday morning.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. Marines on the move. President Trump ordering 2,000 more troops to the Middle East, fueling speculation of a possible ground operation, even as he says he's considering winding down the war with Iran. An Iranian missile landing in Jerusalem's Old City.
Just yards away from some of the holiest sites in the world.
Plus the administration's new move to try to drive down gas prices.
Breaking down the new study on the MIND diet, the food to eat that might preserve brain health and who benefits the most.
How to start investing, what you need to know.
We help people who don't know how to get started with investing.
When and how to start.
Start small.
Even on a limited budget.
And we're hopping into spring with steals and savings you don't want to miss. Filling your Easter basket with some of the best deals on delightful treats as we say, good morning, America.
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
It is Saturday morning. Good morning, America. This morning we are breaking down the MIND diet and how what you eat may actually turn back time on your aging brain.
Very interesting stuff. Plus, the travel picture this morning and those long lines that we've been seeing at some major airports due to the partial government shutdown. More TSA workers calling out.
But first, Marines on the move as President Trump orders thousands more troops to the Middle East. The deployment heightening speculation of a ground operation inside Iran. And ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burge joins us now from Jerusalem. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Yeah, that new deployment of US Marines with amphibious landing ships is a major hint on where this war could be moving next. President Trump saying a simple military maneuver could free up the passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, but Iran still retaliating against the US and its allies across this region.
This morning, thousands of additional US Marines and sailors heading to the Middle East as President Trump weighs up options to try and break Iran's stranglehold over the critical Strait of Hormuz. US officials confirming a second Marine Expeditionary Unit is now being deployed to the region. 3 amphibious ships which can land troops on shore seen departing San Diego this week. In total, 9,000 additional sailors and Marines and considerable firepower are set to arrive in the coming days, fueling speculation of a possible ground operation into Iran. The White House saying there is currently no plan for ground troops, but President Trump not ruling it out. The Pentagon now saying 232 US troops have been injured in the war, with 10 of them in a serious condition. 13 US service members have been killed. And overnight, the head of the International Energy Agency with this dire warning to the Financial Times, calling the conflict the greatest global energy security threat in history. Smoke billowing into the air at an oil refinery in Kuwait. Officials there reporting 2 days of consecutive Iranian drone attacks on that facility. The price of Brent crude spiking to $112 a barrel, with huge quantities of other vital exports like fertilizers and pharmaceuticals also stuck. This morning, dramatic new video showing Iranian missile fragments exploding in Jerusalem's Old City. Several people injured by the blast.
Well, you can see the force of the blast from those missile fragments. We heard the thud from our hotel. We're in the Jewish quarter in the Old City, just yards away from some of the holiest sites in the world.
And as the US and Israel continue to strike in Iran, Iran now warning of retaliatory attacks against US and Israeli officials at recreational and tourist sites worldwide.
And Iran accusing the US and Israel of targeting for a second time its nuclear facility at Natanz. No comment from CENTCOM or the IDF on that, but the UN's nuclear watchdog calling for restraint. And the UK now condemning Iran for an unsuccessful ballistic missile attack on a US-British base at Diego Garcia, more than 2,000 miles away in the Indian Ocean. The impact of this war felt far and wide. Janae?
All right, Tom Sufi-Burge, thank you for your reporting. Back here at home now to the nationwide travel chaos as the partial government shutdown enters day 36. TSA workers going another week without pay and airline passengers facing those massively long lines. ABC's Christian Cordero has more from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And Christian, it appears to be getting worse in some places.
Yeah, it does, Janae. And as we get through the morning rush here at DFW Airport, the wait times nationwide has stretched hours long at some point. TSA officers are also waiting, not knowing when their next paycheck will arrive. It is day 36 of the partial government shutdown. Several major airports are seeing a surge in spring break travel and massive lines like this one in Houston, where the estimated wait time topped 3 hours on Friday. A similar situation in Atlanta and New York's LaGuardia Airport, where the security line snaked outside into the parking lot. The call-out rates among TSA workers have more than doubled since the beginning of the shutdown. A vote to end the shutdown has now failed 5 times, with Democrats demanding reforms to immigration enforcement. But with no end in sight, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns the lines could get significantly worse if officers miss another paycheck next week. Whit.
Yeah, major concern going forward. Thank you so much, Christian Cordero. Now to the catastrophic flooding in Hawaii. In some areas, the flooding has washed away roads and homes. Officials are closely monitoring water levels at a century-old dam there. Additional rainfall could quickly push levels higher again. 5,500 people living nearby are being urged to evacuate the area. The state's governor now activating the National Guard. At least 230 people have been rescued by emergency response teams. The heavy rain is is expected to continue through Sunday.
My goodness, let's hope everyone stays safe during all of that. All right, let's turn to March Madness, shifting into high gear this weekend. And ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the overnight highlights. What's going on, Andrew?
Well, it is the kind of chaos, right, that defines March here. Upsets, buzzer beaters, and some dominant performances. And perhaps the game of the tournament so far, we got a thriller. Santa Clara taking a lead over Kentucky with just a few seconds left. And with the season on the line, the Wildcats, Otega-Oweh heaving up a last-second prayer to send that game into overtime. There it is, and then Kentucky putting the game away for good in extra time. Some other top seeds also facing close calls. 15-seed Furman giving 2-seed UConn a battle, but a 31-point, 27-rebound performance by UConn's Terrace Reed led the Huskies to victory. In the late-game action, Dominique Daniels and Cal Baptist giving Kansas a scare, cutting their lead to just 6 with a minute to go, but the Jayhawks would hang on. And on the women's side, it was the heavy favorites taking care of business. LSU scoring 116 points in their dominant win over 15-seed Jacksonville. 1-seed Texas beating 16-seed Missouri State by 42, and then the night ended with suspense as Michigan State and Colorado State came down to the final shot. The Spartans winning that one. We've got tons more March Madness action later today.
And you're in last place in the company.
I am
poll.
in last place.
Yeah.
I am.
There's still time.
There's a lot of basketball.
There's still time to come back.
I am.
You got to believe. Thank you, Andrew. Coming up on our GMA morning menu, the latest research on the MIND diet and which foods might help preserve your brain power.
Also ahead, how to invest early for the future, even on a limited budget.
And you know who's here. Tori Johnson is here with steals to put a little spring in your step. We'll be right back. You're watching GMA on a Saturday morning. All right, we are back now with our GMA cover story and a new study about the MIND diet and how what you eat might be good for your brain. Neurologist Dr. Leah Kroll is here to break it down for us. We were talking through the commeral break.
Yes, no, we're fascinated.
It's fascinating. So what is the MIND diet?
Okay, so this stands for the Mediterranean Diet Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, which is a mouthful that basically means it's a diet that combines the most brain-healthy pieces of the very well-known Mediterranean diet. We talk about that one all the time. And the DASH diet, which we love for treating high blood pressure. So essentially, the MIND diet emphasizes foods that are thought to be protective against dementia. That's going to be things like berries, leafy greens, fish, poultry, nuts, whole grains, olive oil, and it kind of limits those unhealthy saturated fats, fried foods, butter, cheese, red meat, some of the good stuff.
I'm so happy because I'm just like checking off everything on that list. Yes.
I'm fascinated by this. I got to admit, I've kind of gone down like the social media rabbit hole with like some of these things, right? But like sort this out for us in terms of what the new study reveals and what we should really be focused on.
So the big headline finding here is that the people in the study who followed the MIND diet the most closely appeared to have brains that looked about 2.5 years younger on MRI compared to the other participants in the study. Yeah, so the researchers were looking at signs of brain aging on MRI. That's things like shrinkage of the gray matter. That's the part of the brain that does the cognitive heavy lifting, learning, memory for us. Also signs of damage to the white matter in the brain, which is sort of a proxy for tissue health overall and the health of the blood vessels that feed the brain. So simply put, the people in the study who were following the MIND diet the most closely had the fewest signs of brain aging overall on their MRI scans.
That's really incredible.
And another thing to add here, also incredible, the protective effect of the MIND diet seemed to be most pronounced for the oldest participants in the study, which to me really means it's never too late to start eating healthy for your brain.
Wow. So what's the takeaway for folks at home in terms of what we should be eating?
So the bottom line here is a steady pattern of real, minimally processed foods, emphasizing plants, healthy fats, lean proteins, is really going to support healthy aging for your brain. There were a couple of specific standout foods in the study. Berries and poultry seem particularly linked to positive changes in the brain, whereas sweets and fried foods seem more associated with accelerated aging in the brain. But it's really not about one magical superfood or supplement for brain health so much as it is about your overall dietary pattern. And while we're on that topic, I want to add in here, I'm getting questions all the time lately about tinned fish. It's an explosive trend all over social media.
Yeah.
I love this. So we know that fish is a really big part of the MIND diet, but it's also extremely expensive. Tinned fish gives you those same brain-healthy omega-3 fatty acids from fish at a fraction of the cost, and it's all the rage. So if you're interested in eating for brain health, this is a trend you can get behind.
Great.
And I always forget about tin fish.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Talk to you later.
Always great to have you.
You are
Good to
awesome.
see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now to investing in your future, even if you're early in your career and don't have a lot of spare cash. Ike Ajachi is here with some strategies to build your finances.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
Ike.
very important, our finances.
Absolutely.
Right? Good morning, guys. Listen, researchers say Gen Z, they're getting a head start on their financial futures, investing earlier than any generation before them. But while many are eager to grow their money, figuring out how, well, that can be a little bit intimidating. We spoke with some experts helping first-time investors take those first steps with confidence.
It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save.
4 billion views and counting. FinTalk is the wildly popular financial literacy community built by Gen Z and millennials.
I'm 25 years old and I have just over 100K in my investment portfolio.
But according to the latest World Economic Forum Outlook, only around 40% feel confident about investing.
The biggest barrier is honestly that I'm terrified of messing up and losing money.
Just 2 years ago, 29-year-old Madeline Gibson left corporate America to launch a career as a makeup artist.
My financial goals are to be just 100% financially stable and self-sufficient. I'm just now starting to make enough money where I have some extra cash that I can save and put away towards the future. But what I actually do with that, I don't know.
That's just what financial advisors Eve Halimi and Anam Lakhani want to help first-time investors figure out.
We help people who don't know how to get started with investing, get started.
The two say investing should be easy. First, even it out.
Even it out. You don't put all your money in one place, right? You're distributing it over a diversified portfolio.
Automate it and start small.
Put it on a recurring basis. Start small. We recommend first-time investors to start with $5, $100 a month.
You don't need thousands of dollars to get started. Just start somewhere. Your future self will thank you. You are doing this for yourself in the long run.
For Madeline, this investment roadmap is paving the way to investing in her future.
Investing is not actually reserved for the elite. And the more you start thinking about it that way, the more you set yourself up for financial success.
And guys, the numbers really put it into perspective. Experts say if you skip that $5 coffee every weekday and invest that money instead, you can have about $1 million after 40 years, assuming a steady return. It's a small change today that can really have a massive payoff down the road.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Start with a coffee.
Yeah, that's a really
Good
big
stuff,
cup of
Ike.
coffee, though.
Yeah, right? Thank you so much for that, Ike.
You got it.
Whit.
Company coffee machine's not too bad in this building either, so we'll do that. All right, time now for Deals and Steals, and Tori Johnson has big savings on great product upgrades to get you ready for spring, and all of these are from small businesses. Tori, what do we got?
Okay, so we're talking about rappel umbrellas.
Yes.
Easiest way to kind of handle any storm in style.
Yep.
What I love about these is first, the compact size is fabulous. So this fits in your bag. Oftentimes we don't have an umbrella with us when we need it because it's bulky. It's like you don't want to carry it around. Are you going to do that?
Can I fire it up?
You can. Is it good? Is it? Oh, there you go. So what I would say, there you go. You could be seriously like an umbrella model. That was good.
Singing in the rain.
That was good. But you also noticed how easy it was
Super
in just
easy.
that one click to be able to open it. So no fumbling. These are all 50% off, $15 to $20.
I
really
like it.
good
I
ones.
like
They're-
it. All
and
right.
they're engineered to withstand the gusts.
Yep, I can tell.
that's
It's got
key.
like the different grooves and everything. The wind goes in.
It's not just pretty, fabulous.
Mhm.
Okay, shocks. So this allows you to avoid the in-ear discomfort that often comes from sticking an earbud in your ear.
Yes.
So this is using bone conduction technology that allows that sound to go right through your cheekbone into your ear. You get premium sound, but you also get to keep your eardrums completely open to what's happening around you.
My
And-
earpiece got in the way, so I had to take it
there
out.
you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of in-ear
But
discomfort,
very
right?
comfortable.
And so the amazing thing is you get to hear premium quality sound, know what's happening in your surroundings, especially that beeping car, that person who's calling out for you. These are fabulous. They come with a variety of accessories too, 50% off and free shipping from Shocks.
Half off, free shipping.
You got it.
Love it.
Okay.
All right, what do we have here?
Spring cleaning right around the corner here.
Yes.
These are great options to get more storage space. This is all Holden Storage is the brand. So all of these here that you see are for dinnerware. A lot of people still have like all of the holiday dishes still in the cabinet.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
as we transition from spring to summer now, great way to be able to put things away in sturdy storage pieces. And then this one I love here. This is like you get an entire closet right here. This got a very sturdy rack in here that will hold about 50 pounds. And what's great is that inside here, you can open it up. You can see what's in here, but then you unzip to open it up around to be able to literally have a closet. So if you're transitioning to put your winter clothes away for spring, or you just need extra space for your spring, this is fabulous.
Love this idea.
It's a
and
good
look,
one.
you got Geo shirts in here
There
too.
you go.
Yep.
All 50% off.
The floral one.
Shirts not included. Picture keeper. Picture keeper. Easiest way.
Oh, we love this.
We do.
Yeah.
To be able to get a peace of mind, either because you are changing phones, running out of memory. You could be changing computers or running out of memory. So whether it is an iPhone or an Android, a PC, a Mac, so computers, tablets, phones, you can put all of the photos, videos right on this. Super easy to use. Again, great peace of mind, 50% off and free shipping, and we have them for big documents as well. Key Smart. Okay, this is very cool. See this little tiny thing right here?
Yeah.
So we've got both. You want to do that first?
I went ahead.
Go ahead. We can go.
This is a dad
I'm
tool
okay
right
with
here.
an
This is
outer quarter.
this is what every dad wants.
Every dad.
For
so that allows
Father's
you
Day.
to hold up to 14 keys without them jangling in your pocket.
Yep.
But then for the dad who might lose things, this is really great because look how thin this is. Slip this into a wallet. If you then misplace the wallet, you can then see on your phone where it is. If you lose it at home, you can ping it and it'll beep to let you know where it is. So that's super smart. We also have these really cool, I feel like you'd also like this. That little stylus you can attach to a key ring is so cool to be able to. So there's tons of extra accessories. Everything's 50% off from Key Smart. This is a smart one, you guys. And then you know and love AquaVault, the easiest charger to stay powered up on the go. Fits literally into a wallet, includes all the cords with it for iPhone or Android. You can also use it for speakers, earbuds, other accessories as well. We've got the wired or the wireless. If you don't know what kind of phone you have, get the wired one, 50% off.
Yeah, these are so great and so small.
So small.
Yeah, no bulky
like a credit card slot in your wallet.
Exactly. Thank you, Tori. We appreciate it. Of course, we've partnered with all of these companies on these great products, and you can get them at gmadeals.com or that QR code right there on the bottom of your screen. Coming up here, a children's book author is joining us with a unique take on nature as a parenting partner.
My name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man. And sometimes Spider-Man
Okay, back now on GMA with Spider-Man's highly anticipated return and giant leap into the history book. Spider-Man Brand New Day became the biggest trailer of all time this week with more than 718 million views in just 24 hours. The movie starring Tom Holland and Zendaya is in theaters July 31st.
Oh, and people already can't get enough of Tom Holland and Zendaya. So.
Right.
All right, now to some of the other top stories that we're following right now. Americans are feeling the pinch from rising gas prices. The national average is $3.94. That is a sharp jump of nearly $1 since the start of the war in Iran. Some of the states clocking the highest gas prices include California, Washington, Nevada, and Arizona. Americans paying $575 million more per day on gas and diesel compared to the start of the war.
NASA rolled the Artemis II moon rocket back to the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket is scheduled to blast off as early as April 1st. Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts on a 10-day test flight around the moon and back.
And the entertainment world remembering actor Nicholas Brendan. Brendan was best known for his role on the 90s TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He played the lovable underdog Xander Harris for 7 seasons. His family shared that Brendan died in his sleep of natural causes. Nicholas Brendan was 54 years old.
And we are thinking of his family. All right, we are here now with journalist and children's book author Renee Marsh. Their new book here, it's called The Nature of Change. It's a personal story that aims to help kids deal with unexpected life changes by connecting with the outside world. Renee, it is so good to see you.
So great to have you. So good to be here with all of you.
Welcome.
Congratulations. I mean, just look at the cover if we can get a camera on it, because it is so beautiful. It's such a gorgeous book. And this is really about two kids who are dealing with adjusting to their new home. And it was inspired, though, by your own loss.
It was. I mean, right now, we all know that change is everywhere that we look. And so I do feel like this is a message for now. But the seed for this story was really born out of, as you said, the loss of my son, Blake. For those who don't know my story, my son, Blake, died of pediatric cancer, brain cancer, just 1 month after his second birthday. And I will say, looking back and reflecting on that moment, I was really paralyzed by my grief and spent so much time outside, because that was change for me in my personal life that was really unwanted change. And in my time outdoors, I got some of the most profound messages from nature. And most of the messages that really kind of hit me right here were from the trees that surrounded me in my backyard, whether they were losing it all down to their bare limbs, but they were still standing. I remember so vividly, it was a bad winter storm after Blake had passed away, and the weight of the snow snapped, buckled this one limb, and it was literally hanging by a shred. And in my mind, it was dead. But that spring, it bloomed. And I saw myself in that, even in your broken state, even that unwanted change for that tree, there is still new growth. And so it was those moments of inspiration that helped me to move forward through what was the worst thing that could have happened to me. And so it's my hope that through this book, I pass down those lessons to the younger generation. I really felt like this is hard. Can we prepare our kids to handle unwanted change in their lives a lot earlier, so that maybe they navigate this with a strong mind, some mental grit? So that's my hope, that this is a tool for parents, that they can help them navigate the change they did not want, but do it with a healthy mind, resilience, determination, hope. Those are all things that I can tell you that you cannot survive unwanted change if you don't have that.
Oh my gosh, Renee, I want to hold your hand, because I've watched your journey with Blake on social media, and I am always so moved by your resilience, and can only imagine what you and your family have had to go through. You've got a beautiful daughter now. Just tell us more about the lessons that you took with you and how you then wrote this book for a younger generation.
Yeah, I mean, the lessons. You mentioned my daughter, Hope. You know, I was able to hold on to hope because of those messages that I would receive in random places, whether it would be nature, and many times it was. And why that was so important is that in my moment, it looked like, you know, it was a disaster, really. The bottom had fallen out of my life, but I had hope that things would get better. And I was curious, well, what does better look like? And better looks like a daughter who stresses me out every single day. She's about to be 3 in the best way, but she is the best. And I love her beyond words can even express. And so hope got me to this other side of something that's so beautiful, and that is my beautiful daughter, Sienna. And she brings me joy, and joy has returned. So that's the other message here, that on the other side of that unwanted change, there can be joy again. There can be happiness again. Just have to kind of wade through that change.
And we don't have much time left, but what advice do you have for parents who are trying to help their kids navigate these major changes?
I hope that this book will start a habit in which parents will take their kids outdoors, let them spend time, and ask them a question every single day. What did nature tell you or teach you today? I think that will encourage a greater appreciation for the outdoors. It'll also encourage them to get off the screens, also get outside and be still enough and focused mind enough to answer that question. And I promise you, you will find lessons that will help you in your own life, because nature has this way of modeling all the things that we need for our human experience.
I want to ask myself that question every day.
Do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to text you, and I'm going to send all you guys a text.
Every
what
day.
did nature teach you today?
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank
you for telling
all.
your story.
I appreciate you all. I'm so happy to be here.
Go get the book.
That's right. It is The Nature of Change, and it's out right now.
Now with our GMA Book Club pick for March, it's Elizabeth Arnott's thriller, The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives. And Elizabeth is joining us now. We love the title, by the way.
Thank you.
And we've loved chatting with you already before we even came on the air. So tell us first, what is the book about?
So, The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives is a stylish, sun-soaked thriller set in 1960s California across a long, hot summer. It follows Beverly, Elsie, and Margot, who are three very different women who have been joined together by a dark shared secret. Ooh. And that is that for each of them, the man that they married turned out to be a serial killer. So they're trying to rebuild their lives, move on from the sort of the guilt, the shame, the horror. And when a string of murders hits their pretty white picket fence suburb, the three of them get to work, because after all, who better to catch a killer than those who've shared a life with one?
And why focus on the wives themselves for this story?
So I've always been fascinated by true crime, you know, how a murderer's mind works and the psychology of all that. But more recently, I found myself drawn to stories of those who are tugged into the orbit of dangerous men. You know, those who are left to deal with the trauma, to wade through the rubble of what has happened, you know, through no fault of their own. The wives, the sisters, the daughters, the sort of forgotten victims. When you look at these women, they so often are silenced. They're so often footnotes to these men's stories. You know, even there are serial killers who killed 30 plus people. Yeah. We know nothing about their victims, yet we can buy a T-shirt with their face on it. You know, I wanted to give these forgotten victims a chance to speak. I wanted to see what they would say if they could tell their story, and I wanted to let them have some fun.
This is fascinating. And so the women in this story, they are relatable, even given the extenuating circumstances. Are they loosely based at all on people in your own life?
Well, I did a lot of research. I'm a journalist by trade. You know, I always like to research before I start writing. So I did a lot of research into the very brave women who have been through this in real life and have told their stories. There are documentaries about them, you know, films about them, podcasts about them. But more than that, I wanted my women to be a representation of the way in which you or I might respond to, you know, to the news that our husband had done these terrible things. Ooh. We have Beverly, who deals with a lot of guilt and shame. She's a mother, I'm a mother, and she really struggles with seeing her husband as a monster. And she worries that her son has inherited the same rotten core as his father. Then we have Elsie, who is all about action and facts. She works in a newsroom. You know, she will not be bested again. You know, she's a dog with a bone. Yeah. And then we have Margot, who I suppose could be described as Mrs. Bravado. She loves to throw on faux fur, have a margarita, go to a Hollywood studio party and pretend like she's not affected by what has happened to her. But she really is. I wanted to explore how there's no right way to be a victim. There is no right way to deal with trauma, and that's how my characters came about.
I want to see all of these characters.
Yes.
First of all, on the screen, but at a dinner party, right?
Oh, yeah, they'd be a lot of fun.
You say that these characters saved your life?
Yeah, well, they saved me in a way. Hearing Renee's story previously is so powerful, you know, the power of creativity. And you know, as woo-woo as it might sound, I think books come to us as writers and readers when we need them the most. When I started writing this book, I was going through something very difficult in my life. I was dealing with a very painful loss. And I needed writing like I needed breathing. You know, I needed to put one foot in front of another. And writing was my means of doing that. This book became a life raft for me. And I think creativity is so, so powerful. And I sat down to write, and it was like Beverly, Elsie, and Margot showed up behind my laptop, ready to take me through the story. And the first draft of this book took me 6 weeks to write, because I needed it that much, you know? And I love those women for doing that. And I think it's just testament to how creativity can really be a life raft for us.
Well, we're so happy for you and the life raft that this book has become. And then for us, it's going to be a thrill because we can't wait to dive in.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives is out right now. Elizabeth, thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Now on GMA, as we spring into a new season, and Will Gans is here with the creative and delicious ways to step up your Easter baskets and bring the fun all spring long.
Yes.
Yes, let's start with the game that's taken the whole world by storm. Mahjong. My mom plays every Tuesday, and she taught me how to play. Shout out to her Mahjong group, Trisha, Kim, Dara, and Marianne.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies. Get ready for a glamorous upgrade every Tuesday with these beautiful Mahjong mats. Each mat features original artwork and comes with clear gameplay directions printed along the sides. You were asking me what this text was.
Yes.
Yes, so the neoprene is easy to roll and store to prevent creases and to save room in your game cabinet. Right now, you can save 40% from Amanda Top Living. Aren't they gorgeous?
Yes, they really are.
They'll
Okay,
protect
you
the
were snacking on these.
Okay, and now America knows too,
Yep.
so thanks for sharing that, putting me on blast. Let's get real. Easter basket's all about the candy. If you want to level up this Easter, you can mix these into the baskets. These melt-in-your-mouth caramels are all made using a 4-generation-old family recipe. We've got classic caramel, chocolate-covered, chocolate-infused, and more, all in gift-ready packages. And for even more caramel goodness, we've got these jars of caramel, which are super cute. These bunnies can be added into the mix as well. We're saving you at least 25% on all of it. Save this for later. I'm telling you, it's so,
all right.
so good.
Done.
You are an art girly.
Yes, I was so excited when I saw these. I love markers and everything.
So great. And I'm glad that you bring focus to the fact that it's not just for kids. You can be an adult and really unleash your inner creativity. Or if you like to color code your schedule or whatever, perfect time to express creativity and bring ideas to life. Tombow products are perfect for arts, crafts, school projects, brilliant for Easter baskets for all ages. Dual tip brushes and pens help you create your next masterpiece, and they've earned more than 42,000 positive reviews online, which is great. We've got kits for note-taking, journaling, doodling, and more. A wonderfully creative, screen-free escape for the whole family. Save 40% on a big assortment from
Perfect
Tombow.
for traveling. If you're going to be at the airport waiting for a flight, pack those up.
You've done this before.
Yes.
All right. For these budding kids in STEM, anyone who loves to learn, you can make literacy and math fun with these multi-sensory, research-backed board games that are designed by teachers and aligned with state standards. The games use fidget mats, vibrant flashcards, kinesthetic movement to activate every learning pathway, visual and auditory, to tactile as well. They're designed for both neurodiverse and neurotypical learners. Whether your child is just beginning to read or needs extra support, save 40% on the fidget game.
Really
Great for
good
spring
stuff.
break or summer travel as well. Keep the kids
Good
fresh.
stuff.
All right, while everyone else is playing games
Also
and
good
eating
for
candy,
travel.
yes, you can treat yourself. Cleanse, exfoliate, massage, and nourish with Spongel. A favorite all-in-one treatment, these body wash infused buffers deliver a luxurious time-released lather. They have a big variety of scents, so everyone can find their favorite, and the sweet animals make a great Easter basket addition as well. Pedi Pop is an all-in-one pedicure treatment. Save 50% on the entire assortment now.
So good. Throw it in your suitcase and you're good to go for your whole trip. We've partnered with these brands for huge savings. Scan the QR code to shop, plus more than 24 ABC Secret Savings March deals are still live at abcsecretsavings.com. We'll be right back here on GMA.
And thank you so much for starting your day with us.
Yes, you can catch more weekend news coverage over on ABC News Live.
Gio's
Look at
on
Will.
duty
I'll
today?
be there.
Yep.
I think Will's going
I'll
to
be there if I get up from this
Looking all
couch.
debonair.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning.